Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Theodicy Podcast with your girl Word. Yes, we are back in the building. And of course, I told you I will be back with any updates that I come up with through my findings when it comes down to the passing of Rich Homie Quan. But first and foremost, I would definitely like to introduce my co-host, the First Lady OG. Yes, she's back in the building. First Lady, are you here with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty, here we go. We got the first lady in the building. And of course, as always, when I have my guests come on, I always just like them to just give a little bit about themselves. And it's just always a reminder of where you can go to get other sources of information. Definitely, whatever that may look like or whatever that may be. So, yeah, the first lady, go right ahead and just introduce yourself to the people again.
Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. I am the First Lady, the voice, the visualizer of inner city children everywhere. Visualizer of opportunities, excuse me, for inner city children everywhere. Um, Coming to you live on the Odyssey podcast. And we're here tonight to have some nice discussion on one of the trending topics in the entertainment field. But as she said, stay tuned. Make sure you follow me as well. I will be through with the podcast on First Lady Presents Auntie House soon, in which I will find out what Auntie House is all about, helping our inner city urban children with many things as far as to knowledge of self, self love, self care, enhancing any talents that they have, and 24-hour daycare. We're gonna come with a plethora of things for the youth in the neighborhoods now, which they don't have any outlets anymore. So Auntie House is coming to provide those outlets, but we're coming with love and anything that we can do to help the community. No, sorry, y'all. Maybe she might not be there, so I better hold it on anyway. But again, oh, she cut off. So right now, if you're still here, if you're still listening, yes, definitely make sure that you hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the subscribe so you never miss a live. Stay tuned for the Odyssey podcast so you can hear the segment Word on the Street. And right now, we're going to discuss the word in the street now is what happened to Rich Homie Quan.
Yes, I hope you can hear me. First lady
Yeah,
OG,
we
can you
hear
hear
you.
me? All
Yep.
right, perfect. Yeah, I don't know. Something was going on with my audio, and guys, forgive me because I may be cutting in and out just because I'm actually streaming from my phone. So, I'm not really too great at the technical stuff, but I'm getting better for the most part. But yeah, I just want you guys to always know, like I said before, it's always another source, and the next source is who I'm introducing to you right now, and which she has. I don't even think that you guys can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good?
All right, perfect. So that's the next outlet where you're able to actually tap in and get different resources. And you'll notice that hopefully as time progresses that I will have a plethora of just different great monumental people that will be able to give you the resources that you need or you may be looking for. But back to word on the streets, you guys, as you know, I was speaking to you guys about yesterday regarding Rich Homie Quan and his recent sudden passing. And it was a lot of different allegations that was out there that was stating that, he may have had a bad pill, an overdose, or whatever have you. Currently, like I reported to you guys yesterday, the autopsy is still pending. So it's not completely accurate that that's the cause of death. But I told you I definitely will be back with another update. and I am back with another one. So now recently, since Rich Homie Quan's passing, which has been a couple of days, it's a lot of things to hit the media. I know a lot of times we come across things that you listen to, and for those of us who think that is a conspiracy theory, um, you know, to each his own. I'm not gonna sit here and judge what your thought process may be, but however, diving deep is what I've been trying to do when it comes down to the case. And it was so much things that I did come across that I was unaware of. So first things first. The first thing I was truly unaware of was that he was getting ready to testify against his old time friend, Young Thug. And like I told you yesterday, that they had a relationship. They ended up in the industry together. And as they started to, make money, you know, different things came into play where their relationship took a turn for the worse, pretty much, you could say. So fast forwarding to 2024, where he has passed away, a lot of people are putting the insinuation that it was actually a hit. I'm not sure. So I'm going to say that that's allegedly. But due to certain things looking back, especially if you go and you look back and listen to the Young Thug trial that's actually going on right now, it gives you pretty much like a breakdown of how a lot of these different murders took place within the Atlanta area. Um, even it goes so deep to where kids were involved, parents were involved, and when I tell you, it's just like when you think back and you look at the steps to how everything has came about, in particular with Rich Homie Quan, I think that for the most part, we a lot of people that are doing reports on this particular situation, I think they're heading in the right direction only because he started to like change his way of life, you know what I mean? And not necessarily because you choose to change your way of life that karma is not going to come your way, but for the most part, just how out of nowhere, literally a week before he's supposed to testify against Young Thug, that he ends up deceased. So, First Lady, I'm not sure if you're fully aware of the Rich Homie Quan situation, and if you are, can you just give me some insight on what your thoughts is as far as the case goes when it comes down to this young man passing at the age of 33, and people assuming and people putting out there that pretty much, it was, foul play.
I'm about to say I really haven't been following the case itself like closely, personally, but just being the person who I am with certain knowledge of certain things, I haven't even done the gematria. 33 is a big number within the system dealing with these people. So for him to be 33, uh, see, like I don't want to do it right here on the live. Like I haven't done it before according to the day that he literally was deceased. The numbers, I haven't done that, but I'm gonna just say with my own personal feelings, I definitely know that it wasn't natural causes, of course, and do I feel that it was something uh, allegedly other than what they're going to put out there? Most definitely, most definitely.
And so, if we even do a run back on what was said, so allegedly, like I said before, they said that it was an overdose, but no
Well,
autopsy.
Boosie
Hmm.
came out first saying that he was like the RIP to the homie, you know what I'm saying? They said he OD and I just spoke to him last week, whatever. So he said the OD. Then right after that, TMZ came out and reported that they did talk to someone in the family and did uh, talk to the full together County morgue to definitely declare that he was deceased, but they were at that time saying that his true cause of death was not known. And then the very next morning, which I believe was yesterday or the day before yesterday, then it came out that it said 2 Chainz exposed that he was laced with fentanyl and they killed him. So that was what the last headline that I saw. So it went from Lucy to saying he OD'd, from the family to stating, of course, that the true cause of death wasn't out yet, and then for 2 Chainz to say that he was laced with fentanyl. So at the end of the day, we have a couple of things pending, but yet still the actual autopsy has not been uh, done or released yet. So again,
It definitely
personally,
hasn't. And
yeah.
you, like I was saying yesterday, I'm gonna actually keep on following up on what happens as far as the confirmation on the autopsy that caused his death. But the craziest thing about it, as I was in that moment, like I said, for me, really talking on the subject of Rich Homie Quan, it hits a little bit different because it's a lot of young people that are definitely dying and being caught up by getting a bad pill or a bad dose of whatever drug they're engaging in that's laced up and is causing their death. You know what I mean? So that for me was the key point of, if allegedly this is what he passed away from, he's definitely not the first rapper, and to be quite honest, he won't be the last one. But as I dived a little bit deeper and started watching the Young Thug trial, and it watching a Young Thug trial just gives you like a real bigger opening to how deep the gang life is. So when I tell you the gang life, that's surrounding drugs, guns, prostitution, etc. And
And
so
murder.
now, yeah, definitely. And it was crazy because I would have, if I didn't dive a little bit deeper and trying to understand like what actually happened, and just try to like have a second perspective based on what was put out on the media, of like even 2 Chains or Boosie saying what allegedly they felt that happened to him. It's a bigger picture to it, because yes, Rich Homie Quan was heavy tied in gang relation also. It was a lot of things that went down, you know what I mean? Even where it comes into the entertainment world, where they always seem to find a way for these rappers to have rivalries going on amongst each other. So now the situation with YFM Lucci and Young Thug really is what took this shit out of the box, because they caused a lot of deaths that took place within Atlanta. Now, young Thugger was making a lot of calls on a lot of the hits that took place. And then even when his separation with Rich Homie Quan took place, it was almost like, you could say you walking away, but you ain't really walking away, because guess what? When you, it's like blood in, blood out. You not walking out of this. This is what you signed up for. This is what you dealing with. So now he's labeled as a snitch. Now they don't want to deal with him. Now he's going through the whole process while Young Thug is prospering and shit like that. We watching it in real time. This is what's happening in real time. But we're actually not understanding what the plays are in the middle, because we can't quite, for a lot of us, we can't quite see it unless you fully analyze it. But now fast forward to his father being shot up, okay?
Now, when
This
was
was,
that?
when was that?
Yeah.
So that happened, his father being shot up, I believe they said that happened literally like maybe 6 or 9 months ago. So it was like around that six to
Okay.
nine months
Okay.
range that took place, and he was actually shot up at his place of business because he owns a barber shop. And so
And that's in
that
Atlanta
hit,
as well.
that's in Atlanta as well. But the hit
Okay.
that took place was sent out through Young Thug. Now, Young Thug has the YSL gang. That gang that's under Young Thug is containing a group of men and young boys also that's willing to put their lives out there. The major player out of that whole entire group is a guy by the name of Woody. He's the one who actually was involved in a lot of the crimes that took place alongside Young Thugger, especially with a lot of the hits that went down. He was firsthand involved in it, and he turned around and tried to basically put himself out of the picture and make it seem like he's giving the FBI all this information on Young Thug in order for him to gain immunity. Now, fast forward to where we at. Everything he done spilled and said and talked about in real time, he's turning around and say that he was lying about it. So now he's reneging on everything he said prior before that was recorded and also written down. Okay? But he was the one that was sent out to actually do the hit on Rich Homie Quan's father. Now,
Wow.
YFM Lucci comes into play because the guy that they had a rival with, which was a guy by the name of Big Nut. When I come back, I'm gonna actually give you actual names. I don't like to dox people, even if it's celebrities, because that's what they call it on this YouTube app. They be like, "Oh, don't dox nobody." So I ain't trying to dox nobody. So that's why I'm using their street names. But it was a guy by the name of Big Nut. He was well known within the Atlanta area and the Atlanta community. He provided a lot of help to a lot of people from what they're saying, allegedly. He was he ended up dead. He was shot up in his car. Now that's supposed to be YFM Lucci's right hand man. So when that happened, YFM Lucci already had sent out, from allegedly what they're saying, sent out hits for the death of Big Nut. So not too long, I think it's been a year or so, that Young Thugger's baby moms was in a bowling alley. Reportedly, she was supposed to be like at a birthday party or some type of gathering. And upon her leaving, she got into like a disagreement with somebody. And walking out the bowling alley, they killed her. That's reportedly what was told. So that's how deep this shit
Definitely
goes.
not a coincidence.
Definitely not. Peace, Puerto Rican 360. Peace, peace, peace. Yes, happy birthday to the First Lady. We are sending birthday wishes to the
Thank you,
First
thank you,
Lady.
thank you, thank you.
Yes, we are. You guys already know. And mind my manners, because I should have said that from the very, very, very beginning. But me and my mom was on the phone like from like yesterday into today. So
Exactly. Yes, sir, I know.
like,
It's all good, but thank you. I appreciate the love. What's good, he says? Peace, of love, and light.
and the best love is to please go and subscribe to the First Lady Presents Auntie's House on YouTube. She will be coming to YouTube very soon. Guess what, guys? It's almost like you're waiting for your favorite store, and every time you pass it, it says coming soon. That is what's happening right now with the First Lady Presents Auntie's House, but she is on her way to YouTube, so stay tuned. But before you even wait for her to be on YouTube, you can check her out on Bigo. She does Ladies Night, and she also has other sources that she can introduce you to. She has Martyr the Smarter, Savage Royalty. It's like a group of just educated and very impactful and insightful women that she can definitely give you the sources and being able to reach them. So for those of you who are like me, I'm a new content creator still. I'm still trying to build myself as a content creator and learning how to put my content out there. So for the most part, I'm definitely about to engage in classes for the winter for that. But if you guys are interested on just growing your channel and growing yourself as a content creator, trust and believe me, go check out my mom. Okay, Esoteric Empress on Bigo. I promise you, you won't regret it. You're going to come across a lot of great and phenomenal other women. Trust and believe me. Oh my God, Sleepy Lounge, peace, peace. Peace and blessings to you also. Thank you for popping in on me. Thank you for popping in. So, we were just discussing the whole situation with Rich Homie Quan, and I was just giving a little insight to how certain things may look a little bit odd based on his passing, although they are alleging it's a drug overdose. But like I said, I've been doing my little researches on certain things. So I was like, I definitely needed to come back and give you guys an update. Oh, you're perfect. I'm so happy. I'm so happy, Sleepy Lounge, to hear that you're perfect and very well. Okay, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys when I see you, even when I know you guys are in the bushes, because I know life be lifing. But I'm so happy when you guys pull up on me. So thank you. And please feel free to leave in the comments whatever you may be feeling regarding the topic we're talking about right now. So, like I said, I just definitely wanted to dive in and give you guys a little bit of insight when it came down to this whole Rich Homie Quan. And where I was at was fast forward to 2024. He's supposed to testify against Young Thugger, and now he is deceased. So now he can't testify. And if he was able to testify, that actually would have been the nail in the coffin for Young Thug's whole case in this Rico shit. Um, First Lady OG, what's your thought on that?
I'm sorry. What's that you just last said?
No, I was explaining to them. I said, fast forward to 2024. If Rich Homie Quan was able to testify like he was supposed to, which was supposed to be sometime next week, that would have been the nail in the coffin for Young Thug, which is the one that's currently on trial for
Just stop
this
right here.
RICO
So he
charge.
can get out. He's running right back in. I mean, right back out to
So,
go. Just gonna pull right in front of the door, but go ahead. Okay, okay. Jesus Christ.
So, guys, for those sleepy lounge, let me just catch you up. As you know, I'm sure you probably do know the passing of Rich Homie Quan. I actually did a video yesterday giving you guys an update that they have not yet released the autopsy on um what is the cause of his death, but however, it's been a lot of things that's been alleged in the media about him uh, taking a bad pill, him overdosing, um, someone lacing his drug with fentanyl. So it's been a lot of different allegations that has been put out there, but it has not yet been confirmed because the autopsy has not yet been released to confirm that has been the cause of his death. And I yesterday overall wanted to just speak on it, even if that may not be. So that's why I just put it out there as it may not be the cause of his death, but that's what's alleged. And if that's what's alleged, I just wanted to put it in the world that we live in, that I'm sure everybody sees, that it's a lot of young people that are dying from bad drugs because they're in search of going to get high, and they're going to anybody and purchasing these drugs, and they don't know what is inside of these drugs, and it's causing them to die by the thousands at this point. We really don't never have a statistic because for some reason they don't really care to put the statistic out of how many young people are passing away from bad drugs, being laced with fentanyl and laced with other shit, rat poisoning, you name it. It's crazy. Right, Sleepy Lounge. So, for me, I did jump into that on speaking on it, and I hope and pray that that is something that he did not die from, but he was not. ever shy about letting people know that he was addicted to Molly. Um, and he did explain how he was introduced to taking the drug Molly, and for him just being in the entertainment world and having to tour and be in the studios and having to perform. Um, Molly being introduced to him was something that made him feel that he can conquer all of that, to where it became an addiction, to where every time he had to do anything business wise, he needed that drug. He spoke about just cleansing himself and trying to get back to who he was, and also letting the other youth know, like, drugs is not the way, and try to steer away from anybody that's going to introduce you to it. But, like, I'm going to tell you the truth, I hope and pray that's not what he passed away from. But in the entertainment world, anything could be set up for you to assume that's what the reality is. So for me, I know deep down we'll never know the truth, because whatever they choose to push out there is what we're going to just have to receive and take. And for those of us who understand and look a little bit further and deeper, we already know the breakdown to what really is the cause of his passing, or why his passing needed to take place. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go deep and talk about no sacrificial shit and all of that, because I'm just speaking from a area of just being a human and living everyday life and seeing certain things around where I live, um, and knowing how real that shit is, and then also speaking from a understanding of being into this entertainment business and how influential shit is, because guess what, our children turn on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and all of this shit, music videos on YouTube, and what they promote sex, drugs, and violence, period, point blank. And then we sit back and we trying to understand why are our kids the way that they are, is because of what they are, how could I say, what they're being exposed to. You know what I mean? Back in the day, our parents had somewhat of a control of what we were exposed to. Now it's in a whole different way. Our children are exposed to a whole lot more. And then they're imitating what they think is cool, or what they think is going to make them be a celebrity or get money or whatever they may be in search of in that moment. So when I spoke yesterday, it was definitely touching the points of always just like talking to your kids, you know what I'm saying, and trying to figure out like where their mindsets are. But for those of you, like I said, that's not familiar with the whole Rich Homie Quan situation, go check out my video from yesterday. Please hit the up like button. You know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm definitely trying to get myself into the algorithm. Y'all already know. But for the most part, I just wanted to keep y'all in tune with the updates that I have gotten so far through my little research. These children are exposed to way too much entertainment. Let me tell you something. They're exposed to so much entertainment that it's even beyond us. You know what I mean? And to be quite honest with you, social media is a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? But the shit is definitely something that is more demonic shit that's being exposed to our children, rather than positive shit being exposed to them, right? And it's more negative energies to come about to even show them, how can I say, to show them negative energy to make them feel like, although they can't comprehend that energy is negative, but the way it perceives itself to them looks so good that is better. I always say it's like, even for myself, it's
Go to you
easier
playing
to
music?
do. Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not playing no music. It's easier to do something. It's easier to do the bad versus doing the good. You know what I mean? And that's just the world that we live in. But with this whole Rich Homie Quan situation, I definitely am gonna keep on following and just keep on looking at the Young Thug trial, because the Young the Young Thug trial definitely gives you an insight of certain players and certain situations that we, the people, are not aware of. So if you guys take the time out, they got the Young Thug trial going on. Go check that out. Tell me what you think about it. Leave your comments in the comments box below, and I will definitely read. I will go back and read my comments, but for the most part, that's where we are. And let me tell you something too. We have a lot of talented children, and our children want to go out here and make music. Let's try to keep our children independent. So now we got to figure out a way now for our children that want to be the rappers and want to be the singers and want to be the actors. We need to find a safe place for them to do that, and them being able to own all of their royalties through their own talents that they're given, not for somebody else to obtain it and then obtain more than anything else, because then they can't even spread it on, because guess what? We're gonna find a way to make sure you don't make it, but to see a certain amount of years, and then after that, guess what? You out of here. Right now, Rich Homie Quan has doubled his net worth since his passing.
They always say you worth more dead than alive.
This shit is crazy. First lady, I want you, and listen, let me tell you something. I'm going to stop for a moment because I definitely wanted you, First Lady, before I jump into the next segment. I wanted you to definitely just jump in and speak on what you know already. Like, because, like, the First Lady definitely does what we call humanitarian work outside of even just being on social media and speaking of words. She speaks to young men that are going through things, that are serving time, that they don't even know if they're going to see anybody or know if anybody's going to come and see them. And even that plays a part in how we are losing our children also. So I mean, I just want us to get a variable of the things and the ways that we are losing our children. You know what I mean? And for those of us parents, we don't got a book. We don't got a book that tells you how to parent. We are just going through the process. But know something, your experiences gives you the knowledge to know so much better. But be willing to listen to somebody else that experienced more than you, that could show you something different or teach you something that you never thought that you would be able to try on your own, that may work for you and your family. With that being said, First Lady, please spread the word. You
Um,
already know.
According to this topic that we're already discussing, which is
Hey,
definitely drugs.
I'm sorry, First Lady OG. Before you go, real quick. Hey, love, and Lady OG. Hashtag Life of Pearl. Thank you for pulling up on
Hey,
us.
life
It's
of Pearl, peace, love, and
always
light.
a pleasure.
I just want to say, in to stay attuned with what we're speaking on, drug violence, gang violence, and drugs. At the end of the day, as word stated, one of the facets of Auntie House is that I do mentor young incarcerated gang affiliated members that are currently affiliated yet incarcerated. Um, I am dealing with men that are, they're not even men, they're babies. They're 19, 21, 22. And these are personal young men that I speak to on a daily basis. And they are looking at 19 years, 26 years to life. Um, and one of them has no one. The other one, the family has turned their back on them. And there's another one that almost will be considered a drug addict, where people do not understand. Your children are going into these prisons and they are becoming addicted to drugs. I myself have a gang affiliated son that just came home from doing 5 years upstate prison, and he was 19 years old as well, and he was technically sentenced to 10 years. He did 5 years in, and now he's out 5 years on post release, on paperwork, on parole. So, just speaking with him, he had a situation in which, in one point, yes, he too was using the drugs that's available to them inside. He said that there's nothing that they cannot get on the inside. There's heroin inside, there's meth inside, there is what they call paper planes inside, in which they are just spraying paper with roach spray, with fentanyl, and embalming fluid, and it's sprayed on the paper. They let the paper dry, and that they can actually, once the paper dries, they crack the paper up within the mix of tobacco and smoke it, and that's how they're getting high in there. And they can start from $1 to hundreds of dollars. So if you are affiliated with any young people in jail, if you are cash apping, 9 times out of 10, you are contributing to the drug use. They have tablets, which have phones, they have commissary, and they are able to get packages if they are not what's called inside the box. I'm still researching, but I just got wind that maybe now that they can no longer do any more than 12 months in the box. My son was in the box for over 2 years. Um, I think that's very detrimental to young people as far as keeping them away from anyone else for such a long period of time. But this is what they're doing to our children. So, of course, prevention is better than cure. So, we really want to start educating and getting into the lives of our children before they get there. Pay attention and see what's happening with your child from the outside, because I'm not going to say it's easier to work with them from the outside, because I also have a grandson that's outside that we are having a hard time with dealing with certain situations with him according to gang situation. So I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not. But being that there aren't villages anymore because people choose to, mind their own business. And I come from an era where everybody's child was my child. So if I seen someone else's child that was of somebody I knew, their child, I treated them just as if I saw my own child. And if they was doing wrong, I'm stepping to them. And that's the way I still am. But to see how many of these young are incarcerated with no one to talk to, no one to confide in, they fall into the rut of what's going on in there. And even if they had a shot to come out of there, if they don't have the right guidance while they're in there, they may never come out of there. And if they do, unfortunately, they will never be the same. So these are the things that we have to look to when we're thinking of our young people. My son did, he came out with all of his limbs and everything. But if it's one thing to change a man, it's that prison system. And I really want us as the people, or those that are like minded, to really come together. If you would like to become a voice, my community is called the Voices because, again, like I said, the voice stands for visualizer, visualizing opportunities for inner city children everywhere. So if you do want to become a voice, um, please, what you can do is post or send your email, and I will put you inside a community group in which I am organizing for when I really get the ball rolling. That you can be a part to be a voice in this community. Your son, you may not even have a son, but I'm quite sure that you have a nephew. and you have a godson or a little brother or older brother or an uncle, whatever. But if you would like to be a part of the community to help educate the youth, again, prevention is better than cure, to keep them from going inside. And if you would like to become a mentor to some of these young men, um, right now I'm doing it alone. My daughter Word, she helps me when she has the chance. The first two that I started with, they're really like family to us. So, but just having someone to talk to changes their whole day, especially when they don't have any family. So I know I've been long winded, but this is something that's very, very passionate to me. And because I have a grandson going through something, and I have a son that just came home, it's very, very passionate to me that we try to save these young men. We try to save our families because they need us. And it's not their fault. So you can get in touch with me through Ego. My website is firstladyent.com. Firstladyent.com. And I am also on YouTube. First Lady Presents Auntie House. So you can hit the community wall or you can just leave me a message and I will be starting a podcast to where maybe we will be able to speak to some of these young men. And I'm having down. I'm having some of them. I'm going to publish ebooks for them in which all purchases will go toward that young man's commissary, me having money on the phone to be able to talk to them. So again, I appreciate the opportunity and I'm grateful for you guys and to my daughter, of course, she already knows I'm here for her and what she's trying to do. And I appreciate y'all for supporting her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, First Lady. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Life of Pearl, thank you. You already know Sleepy Lounge. I appreciate you guys and all of my subscribers that took the time out to subscribe to me, to want to listen and give me the time to give me their ear. It's just always appreciated. And I just always want you guys to know that. Even back to what we're talking about, even when we go into these topics, I always let people know it all ties into itself, because we fail to realize we shouldn't have to worry about it being a big name in order to realize the epidemic that's happening with our young people. And honestly, social media has just given an insight for a lot of us parents that's out here, that's definitely just always trying to make sure we talk to our children and to make sure that we guide them as much as we can so that they remain safe and come back to us, or even give us that phone call that's like, hey mom, that type of feeling. And I don't know, and I don't want to know what it feels like to lose a child, right? Um, that's a feeling that any parent that experiences that, my heart goes out tremendously on a whole different level. Um, but for the most part, this Rich Homie Quan, unfortunately, and when I say unfortunate, because it's so unfortunate that we have to wait for a known name to actually want to come out and speak on it, when we have children, young young people, teenagers, 12 years old, 13, 14, dying, drugs, violence, suicide, like in real time. But then a known name that everybody may be a fan of or loved or whatever have you passes away due to the same thing that's been going on and has still been going on for God knows how long now. Come on, my people. Like, let's be real. And like I said, my condolences go out. But it's just unfortunate that it takes for a major name for us to speak on things that need to be spoken on and have an open dialect about. And even when it comes down to, like I said, we have a lot of our children that's so talented. We got the singers, we got the dancers, we got the actors, you know what I mean? We got the writers, we got the poets, but they need a safe place to be able to express themselves without predators. And they shouldn't have to think about not being able to, when it's their time, that they are unable to leave anything for their children or their children's children. And like I said, as of right now, it has not been confirmed that this is why Rich Homie Quan has passed away due to a drug overdose. But it's still a conversation that still needs to be had. And like I said, our children are not just passing away just by drug overdose. Okay? Let's make that quite clear. It's multiple things that are plaguing our children. Multiple things that are plaguing our children out here that's causing their deaths. Any guys, anyway, guys, on a lighter note, I am going to come back to talk about the Erica Banks situation. Um, and the reason why I want, honestly, I just like to let everything flow, but I'm definitely going to come back. And that's a topic that I definitely want to talk about. And I want to know what you guys do think as far as um, Erica Banks and Rich Homie Quan. They were in relations with each other. Rich Homie Quan also shared a home with his baby moms that he has two children by. However, he always made it known that they were co parenting, that they were not in a relationship. Um, Erica Banks was the woman who found him deceased. She was the one who also made that 911 call because he was in her residence when he passed away. And I want to know what's your thoughts on her getting backlash based on her exposing um, their intimate moments and times that they shared after his passing. And do you feel as though she should have done it or she should have expressed it in a different way? So look forward to me coming back with discussing that whole situation with Erica Banks and Rich Homie Kwan's relationship and his relationship with Amber Williams, which is the second baby mother of his two last children. Overall, the saddest part about all of this man has four children altogether, and they're all four going to grow up without a father. And the only thing they'll be able to do is probably visit the tombstone and then look at themselves in the mirror and see a reflection of of their father within themselves when they do look at themselves. So it's just so crazy. But the reason why I wanted to really dive into the Erica Banks situation and her just feeling like she needed to uh, you know divulge their personal messages and relationship and the true ties that she had to him is because I think a lot of times we lose sight of people's pain. We lose sight of things that, you know what I mean, people may be going through because nobody's in, your relationship. Like when you're in a relationship with somebody, you know what I mean? They're telling you whatever they may be telling you, and you're like almost feeding off of those every word that they are telling you at that point in time. But I'm definitely going to come back to dive deep into that because I don't know how I feel on her getting a backlash on, exposing those messages or pictures to just show her experiences. First Lady, just a quick snippet. How do you feel in regards to Erica Banks exposing intimate moments that her and Rich Homie Quan had after his passing?
Honestly, I feel like it just didn't have to be done right now at this moment. If it was that important to you for people to know that it was you that was spending the time with him, knowing that he wasn't with his children's mother, but in turn, he still was co parenting and making sure that she was okay because she was the mother of his children, and that's fine. But why weren't you sharing those things all along if it was just to let everybody know, yes, he's not with her, but you know, we share intimate moments. Like I just feel like it could have been done daily, or it could have been done since the situation was what it was. But for you to just do it upon his passing kind of just seems like, oh yes, well, let me let y'all know I was the one that did this. I was the one that called 911, and I was the one. So I believe that's kind of where the backlash is coming from. Not that she doesn't have any pain, and not that her feelings are not valid of love or whatever it was that they shared. But if you weren't bringing it to the world on regularly from the beginning, then it's kind of like everybody is just saying, "Oh, now that he's dead, now it's just like, oh yeah, it was me and I'm the one." So I kind of have, like a kind of little mixed emotions. I'm not saying that she doesn't hurt or she's not doesn't have the right to hurt because maybe she was the one that was there. But as far as sharing intimate moments and things of that nature, was he cool with that? Like, and now it's like people do certain things, but now he's not here to say anything about anything. So I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I
I
can
totally, I totally
understand.
get, I totally get where you're coming from. I totally,
Hmm.
totally get where you're coming from when you say that, right? Because now he's not able to come out here and actually say like, "Yo, you
Right.
know,
Would he have
this is
been cool
my
with that if
piece."
he was here? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say he was in a super, super bad accident and he was still here. If she would have said, can I, post us? Or why wasn't it okay for her to post the intimate things during the time that they were being intimate, if that's what it was?
And this is the thing for me, and that's why I definitely want to come back and do some more commentary, especially when it comes down to this per se, because as I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna end it off with something that I hope that we all, even myself, that I'm still in the growth of taking heed of. But like with that particular situation, how he presented it to the world, you know what I mean? She knew about Amber Williams, which is his baby mom's, as well as I believe Amber Williams knew about Erica Banks. The way he presented it to the world was as though I'm not going to leave my children or my baby mother stranded. So if that means I have to secure them a home, by all means, that is what I'm going to do. But however, I am involved in another situation. And to be honest with you, I don't know what he
And why that
probably
wasn't enough?
told,
Why wasn't that enough? As far as I'm
but
concerned, why wasn't that enough?
I
Why
feel
now
like,
he's dead and now it's like, yes, it was me.
but this is the thing. I feel as far as him being a public name, he has been spotted with Erica Banks on multiple occasions, right? I'm going to be quite honest. I feel as though how she went about it shouldn't have been. Why? Because I do feel during those timings while he was alive, obviously, those moments that you guys shared was intimate
We're
and
personal.
private and
Right.
personal. And I do believe it should have never hit the internet. But do I feel that she has the right to express herself as far as probably making a post and saying, like, this person meant a lot for me and this was my experiences with this individual through
Nothing wrong with that.
words?
Nothing wrong
I
with
don't
that.
feel like nothing at all would have been wrong with that, but do I feel like she still would have gotten backlash? She still would have gotten backlash, right? Behind it. But this is the thing that I'm going to tie it down to and I want to come back on also is because as women, we lessen our value. And when I say that, is because although you may honestly be like, yo, this is just my person. Like, I love this person. Like, I feel our energies, everything is just magnetic. It does not mean that you are meant to be with that person. But ultimately, loving yourself first and saying, well, I'm not willing to sacrifice myself and my happiness to be second in the relationship that we're in if you're still choosing to build with your baby mom. Because at the end of the day, when you leave me and you go home to your kids and your baby mother, I don't know what type of dynamic you're feeding her also. For the
Yeah, but at
mere
the end of the
fact,
day, you still chose that. So
but
if
that's
you
what I'm
having those
saying.
kind of feelings, you should have been discussing that and saying that to him the next day he came back from when you felt some type of way.
But
Like you
this
don't
is what
wait for
I'm
him to
saying though.
die
This
and
is
then just
where
make sure
she has,
everybody knows.
this is where I feel though you have to hold yourself accountable. And that's exactly what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, as women, you walk into a situation where it's put out on the table. You know he has a baby mother. You know the dynamic of what the living situation looks like, but you're still willing to sacrifice yourself to say, well, guess what? I'm willing to suck up my pride to still deal with you because I want to deal with you and I want to be with you, or whatever your mindset is on at that point, to why you still choosing to make the decision to be with somebody that you already know has a situation going on, regardless what they tell you, right? Because let's keep it real. A male will tell you anything to want you, because at that point in time it's like, I want you. You know what I mean? But if he's coming to you on an open book where it's like, this is what it is, and giving you the ultimate choice, it's sad that you don't put yourself at a higher value to say, as much as I like you and as much as I feel good when I'm around you, I can't be with you if you solely can't commit to being with me when it comes down to a relationship. Guys, I don't know where the first lady went. Hold on. Oh man, what's going on here? I don't know where the first lady went. Let me add her back. First lady? But listen, I'm going to come back on this Erica Banks topic, but for the most part, like I'm going to say, it ties down to, as women, you know what I'm saying? Ex- just wanting more and knowing what we deserve, I feel. And I do feel it came down, and most times it comes down to a point that I feel if you know as a woman that a man has a significant other, then that is something that you should automatically say, guess what? Like I said before, as much as I like you, as much as I like you, I can't do this. Like, and I'm not doing this. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to deal with me, these are my stipulations on that. Because now When something occurs, look what happens. Guys, I don't know if you guys can hear me because, like I said, I'm off my, I'm literally off my cell phone. But I'm going to come back with this Erica Banks topic. I think that I could dive a little bit deeper and get some type of input from others on what they think. But please leave your comments, and I will definitely be reading them. And any topics you want me to research and talk about, please put it in the comment box. When I read my comments and I see it, I'll definitely make it my business to definitely um, do my research on whatever topics that's put in the comment box and definitely come out here and do commentary on it. But like I said, I mean, I do feel like she could have did it in a different way. As far as intimate moments and times that you guys shared, I don't think that that's something that the social media world needed to know. I think that the love in between the both of them should have secured her enough to understand she chose the position that she's in. But now I do hope that the lesson is learned that put yourself first. Put yourself first. And sometimes, although you want something so bad, it doesn't mean that because you want it, you're meant to have it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like the backlash that she's getting, she would have gotten that backlash regardless. She would have definitely gotten the backlash regardless to if she didn't come out and expose intimate moments and just made a post regardless, because a lot of times, you know, for me as a woman, I feel like it's disrespectful if you know that the person you're engaging with has a situation going on and you still choose to engage in that situation on top of knowing that the person you're engaging in the situation with has a situation with children involved. I think that for me is the issue, because it's like, okay, don't you care about yourself enough to want to be on a man's arms that's going to be able to walk the streets with you and have you on his arm as his woman and claim you as how you supposed to be claimed, versus you got to walk around here in secret and you got to be ducking and diving because guess what, he got a whole nother situation going on and you know about it, but yet you're still willing to be a whole secret. That shit is crazy. And it just comes down to like, just have more respect for yourself, just for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And be mindful of what you do deserve. And you don't deserve to be a secret. If a man is going to be with you, he's gonna be with you and he's gonna claim you. You ain't gonna have to worry about being a secret, or you gotta move a certain way, or you gotta meet him at a certain time, because guess what? He got a whole situation going on with children and they can't know about it. Or if the baby mother, like I feel the baby mother does know about it, she's on that type of time of, I don't care what you do out there, don't bring that shit to my doorstep. Like, whatever you do out there, keep that shit out there. Don't bring it to my doorstep where me and your kids rest our heads type shit. With that being said, y'all, this is the Odyssey Podcast with your girl Word. Yes, we are back in the building. I will be back with another video, so stay tuned. And thank you, Sleepy Lounge, Life of Pearl, First Lady OG, Puerto Rican 360. I love you, and I love all my subscribers and all of my bush watchers. And for those of you who are going to hit the replay button, I love you guys too. You guys have a good night. Have a blessed night. And I will see you with another video soon. Peace.